WhatsApp also, and they're harvesting data continuously. And they're throwing you to the wolves.
I say, Mosa, Yagir, Maisel, Maisel, Voisai. When will I get thrown off of Facebook? Then I'm a somebody.
What?
When will I get thrown off of Facebook? Then I'll become a somebody. Until you get thrown, they used to say in Fallsburg, until you got thrown out of Fallsburg, you never learned there.
Okay.
Okay, that's something I think about over here. So today's broadcast is being sponsored by Michoel Levine, so that the chasna that's planned for this afternoon should go בעתו ובזמנו ובמקומו.
Yeah.
And it's also sponsored by Shaya and Chuma Schachner, the nishmas, his mother, which is on Erev Shabbos. It's also being sponsored by Yossi and Mermelstein, the nishmas, his father. Rav Baruch Ben, Akiv, do you know his name? Rav Baruch Ben, I don't remember what his name is.
There's a guy to the outside also.
Sorry.
Gimel time is tomorrow. 1 second. Let me see if I can find which yard side, the name of the yard side. Let's see what the yard side is.
There's a big outside, the Nachman Denker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the Chofetz Chaim's Rebbe?
No, the Denker was actually a contemporary to the Baal Shem HaKadosh. He was older than the Baal Shem. And in the beginning he was a Misnagid, and then he joined it.
Zoe.
Minute.
Okay.
That can be.
Yaakov ben Avram Yehuda is Yossi and Mermelstein's father, Joseph's father.
There's such a thing as being a misnagid before.
Is there any stories of Hasidim becoming misnagdim?
In Lakewood, the daily.
How come I don't hear those stories? All I hear is always how he was a misnagid and became a chassid and they lived happily ever after. But I think the end of the story is really became Hasidim, but he has children who live and learn in Lakewood.
Yeah, exactly. You see, today I davened in a Litvish nusach. They think I became a Litvak, but I'm not.
Which place?
I davened in the outside door. In fact, today was the last day they davened outside the net because of the corona. Now they're going back to the PMG.
Wow. Yeah, the BMG is opening, I think, this week. Okay, gewaltig. And also today's broadcast is also being sponsored by people in our shiur. I thank you very much in honor of my daughter's marriage. Okay, Dr. Heilige Gemara. We're continuing on in a similar subject matter, learning about very fascinating ailments and the very fascinating refuahs for those ailments. So Dr. Heilige Gemara. Ahu bar Kasha. Rashi says that's a Mamuna Lamelech, the Yisrael Hoya. He is a Jewish person who got some type of position in the government. A guy like Michoel Levine. Ahu bar Kosha in Pumbedisa, the Tarke Chivaya. He was bitten by a snake. Have a Tleiser Chamri Chiyurte Pumbedisa. So we learned that you're supposed to take the fetuses from white donkeys. So there were 13 such donkeys in Pumbedisa. Karinu L'chulu. He ripped them all open to get their fetuses. V'shtachu treifa. And each one of these chamorim were treifa. And like we learned on our base, that if the animal's treifa, it doesn't have the impact, it won't heal the snake bite. And he was having a really bad day. It started off with the snake bite, and then one by one, as he's trying to get these fetuses, he's discovering that they're coming from a treifa. And finally, they found one more donkey all the way on the other side of Pumbedisa. At the Ozli, by the time they went to get it, to try to use its fetus to heal this fellow from his snake bite, Maisila, at the Ozli Maisila, Ochla Ara, he got eaten by a lion. So then he was really having a bad day. Amalu Abaye said, Dilma, maybe it's not a snake bite, it's not a snake bite, in fact, that he's actually suffering from. Rather, it's Chivai the Rabbanon Tarke. Maybe he was bitten by the Rabbanon because he did an Aveira. It says the Chalaparetz Gedi Nachash. Maybe he did an Aveira. He violated something that the Rabbanon set up. And that person will not have any refuahs. He won't be able to get out of it. The lesson, he won't be able to get healed from his ailment. On Relay, told him, you know what, you're right. In Rebbe, you're right. The chinuch nafshi the Rav, when Rav was nifter, gozer bituch bar bisna, the leka the lemtaya asa begid milevei hilul avatavla. You shouldn't bring to a chasana together with bells, hadassim, and some other plants that they used to shake and make noise. They used it as part of the wedding shtick, and he didn't care. And therefore, Tarke Shivayu. That's why he got bitten by the snake and died, because he violated the kana of the nuch. So there are those who say, what's the makar? What's the svara? What's the reason why kol hapor together is chen nuch? So he says it's because by Chava, she made a gzeira that you shouldn't even touch the ettendees, and the snake pushed her in to the ettendees and made her be over the gzeira that she added to the isser of eating it. She added the isser of touching it, and that caused. And since the nachash forced Chava caused that she should be poured together, therefore the oynish of be poured together is the yishchel nachash. Zok the hilik gemor weiter. The Pesach Tshuva actually asks that the halacha is that if you see somebody fall in to a bar full of snakes, you can say eidos that his wife is mutter. That's enough to be mater and isha l'shuk. It's enough that we could rely that this person didn't survive. But the shaila is, since the Gemara says that there are remedies to snake bites, how could you possibly say that you're for sure that someone who fell into this bar is dead? You see that there's a way out, even if he got snake bites. So the Pesach Tshuva answers, there's a difference between a bar moli nechashim, which someone would not survive from, and someone who just got a single snake bite. The eitzah that we have over here works for a single snake bite. But if someone falls into a bar, there you can assume that the multiple snake bites he won't survive from. Now we have other cases. Haiman, the karche chivaya. He's being wrapped around by a snake. I believe what are the name of those snakes that wrap around you and then squeeze you to death, so you can't breathe anymore? There's a special boa constrictor. Boa constrictor. I know they have a problem with an abundance of those types of snakes in Florida now, and the government pays by the pound for anybody who kills snakes. So there's a whole bunch of people who they go around all day killing snakes in the Everglades. And that's the way they kill their prey, is they wrap around it. So you have this person who's wrapped around by a snake. So what should he do? How does he get out of it? Zok Gemara, linchos lemaya. Let him go into the water. Let him jump into a pool, to a lake. The lischov tikula aresha. So I assume he's going deep into the water. One of the things they taught us when we learned life saving is that if the victim that you're trying to carry out in panic just grabs you and is choking you, what you're supposed to do is dive down under the water, because then the person in panic will for sure let go of you, because they're grabbing onto you to help them move up. If you're pulling them down, they'll let go. So it seems like the Gemara is telling us to drop down into the water, but hold up a basket above the water. The lischov tikula aresha, hold the basket up. The lahat kaminei, bring the basket towards the snake. This is where the snake will let go of you and want to climb on top of the basket, is what Rashi says. And then the chisolik liluy, when the snake climbs onto your basket, I believe this is an inverted basket, the shaji alamaya, throw the basket into the water, the lislik, the lesson, and get out of there so that you can escape from the snake. Haiman, the mikni bichavai. What if the snake is not wrapped around you, but it got your scent, it's running after you? And the mariach reich it could smell your scent, and through that it can run after you. How do you shake its tail? So they say you never have to outrun the bear. You only have to outrun the slowest runner. So if you have a friend with you, you should have him carry you. You should have him carry you four paces so that the snake will lose your scent. The liluy, and if you can't do that, shiur and nagra, you should jump over a ditch of water, and hopefully that'll create a hefsek. If you do the snake, you're trying to make it that the snake should lose your scent. Liluy, lahaver nahara. And if that doesn't help, go over a river. And at night, put your bed, your four bedposts, the four legs of your bed, put them on four barrels. Again, Rashi says that impact will be shaloyala elav mar. The snake will not be able to get there quickly, and it'll also stop the snake from smelling you. V'nigni bekoichli. Also sleep under the stars, because you don't want that the snake should be able to climb up the structure that's on top of you and then come down on you. So if you're under the stars and you're on a raised bed, it will hinder the snake's ability to come after you. And also take 4 cats, use them as a cat scan. They'll scan the area for snakes. That's called a cat scan, and tie them to your bed. And then take some vegetation and things that would make noise if the snake climbs on them, so put them there, so that the noise that the snake will make as the snake approaches your bed, the cats sitting there will hear the snakes making noise as they try to slither over these vegetation that he put on the floor, and then the cat will eat the snake. It gets more exciting. Haiman the roid abasre. What if the snake is running after him? Lirhit bechalsa. He should run on sand, because I guess the snake has a problem moving quickly on sand. And then the snake will retreat. Now here, this is very fascinating, because the Gemara is telling us, in the next Gemara that we're about to learn, that snakes could want to rape people. Snakes want to rape. I didn't realize that they have a type of notion. It says, Hi Itza, the Chazi Chavaya, a woman who sees a snake that's looking at her, so to speak, she doesn't know if the snake wants to be mizavik with her. Rashi says, what type is tashmish? So what should she do? Tishlach mona, she should take some of her clothing. She should throw them towards the snake. And the shajikameh. She should throw it in front of the snake. If the snake wraps itself around her clothing, liluy. That means the snake wants her, and she better get out of there really fast. But if he totally ignores her clothing, then she knows the snake's not interested in her, and then she'll be okay. Now, what if the snake is interested in her? She doesn't want to be attacked by a snake. So what should she do? Maitakata. How does she shake the snake? Tishamish kameh. She should bedavkav tashmish with her husband in front of the snake, and that'll be repulsive to the snake, but tiskane befanav, and that will cause the snake to say ech and go away. Ikadamri, that's a bad idea. Kolshke yitakav yitre, that'll actually turn on the snake. So that's really bad to do. So if she wants to get the snake to be turned off from her, elatishko mimaze metufra, she should take from her hair and from her nails, which are disgusting, vesishtebe, and she should throw them at the snake. The Taiman, she should say, dishtina ano. And dishtina ano, Rashi says, is in a trikin of derech noshimli, the lachash ba'amalu. This is the same thing that Rachel told Lavan, when Lavan, who's also someone who's running after Klal Yisrael to destroy him, he was like the first nuch, and she's told the truth. She's told her father, derech noshim. The Chidah says there's two stories here. Either if the nuch she's the tashmish, it's going to make the nuch disgusted and lose interest, or there's another tzad that we said that for kert that'll make the nuch have a stronger yitzhak towards her, and therefore she should throw her nails and her hair at him.
Wasn't it the original problem with the snake that he saw Adam and Chava being mishamish?
Oh, beautiful,
Created,
beautiful. Zok the Chidah, the first man number here who holds that the snake, seeing her being mizavik with her husband, will turn him off because he'll remember, hey, the last time I tried this and I got lured by a woman that I wanted because of something that I saw. So the last time I watched pornography and it lured me in, it costed me not an arm and a leg. It costed me 2 arms and 2 legs. It ain't worth it. And that burst of sanity and reality will shake the snake out of its drunken stupor, so to speak, and it'll calm him down. But on the other hand, it could also invoke this taiva, and that's why the Mandamar held that would be something dangerous to do. So Shkoyach for bringing that up. Shkoyach Akiva for bringing that up, because exactly what the Chidah brings up. Okay, now I was trying to think, why would nails and hair make the snake disgusted? The answer is very poshut, because that's what always plugs the sink. And the snake's gonna know, if I want to marry this woman, I'm going to end up having to clear out the drain every couple of months. I'm not interested in that. Okay. Zok tehel gemara vayter. Zok tehel.
Yossi, I can't resist that. No, aren't snakes normally used to unplug toilets?
He'll say, "Oh, you're throwing nails at me. You think I'm just a plumber? You think that's all I can do? Forget it. I'll find somebody else." Okay, so come on. I didn't even think to that. Hi Itza. This is where it gets really bad. Hi Itza the ayel b'chavaya. And Rashi tells us it means the snake actually raped her and actually climbed into her body. So she's got to get the snake out of her. Now she has a real problem. So what should she do? Livsa, which means yafsiku as regleh, she has to open up there because she has to create an opening for the snake to get out. She should stand with her legs on 2 different barrels. So by spreading her legs open, putting one on one barrel, one on the other barrel, it forces open her rechem. And then now she has to lure the snake out of her body. So how do you lure the snake out of his body? The leise bisra shamna, she should take a big shmake 12-ounce ribeye steak, the lishti agumre, and she should put it on the barbecue. That gets a man's attention. The lacy agana, she should agana tachli, she should sit on top of a basket full of shleimah, is cress, I think. I'm not sure what the vegetable that is. Let me see what the article says what that vegetable is called. The cress, yeah. I don't even know what cress is. The lacy agana tachli, the chamra rischada, and cooking wine. So imagine the snake smells the geshmaka barbecue ribeye steak with a geshmaka beer. The lisva hasan, she should stay there. The litrukinu bahade adadi, and she should mix the wine and the cress together, which will create an aroma together with the barbecue that snake's going to want to come, and she'll say, "Come and get it," and the snake's going to want to come and get it, his meal, and she should prepare the limkis tzavs of the other. She should take those big barbecue tongs that she normally flips the steak with. She should have them ready. The chimerech reicha, when the snake is going to smell the reicha, the barbecue, she should probably put on a football game in the background so that the snake will hear the football game as well, and he'll come out. Novel will come out. Yosy, and when he comes down, then she could quickly grab the snake. And just like in the Midas machine, where they say you'll be surrounded by Wookie Jookie, she should take the snake and he'll be the barbecue. Let her grab the snake with her barbecue tongs. He thinks he's getting the steak. He is the steak. And then she should burn that snake up. Because if she doesn't kill the snake, The liluy hadar liluy, the snake will always be coming after her. So the only way for her to protect herself is to destroy the snake. So the Mishnah said that anything that's normal to eat, even though you're eating it for the express purpose of refuah, since it's something that it's the derech to eat, it's going to be mutter. And that's halacha l'maisa. Even if it's something that you're eating and it's obvious that you're only eating it for refuah, if it's something that people normally eat, even healthy people eat, you're allowed to do that on Shabbos. Kol oichlin l'suyimai. It says kol oichlin. So what is the Mishnah trying to include with the kol oichlin? So tomorrow l'suyit tchoil l'shinayim. You're allowed to use tchoil as a spleen. You're allowed to eat a spleen which helps your teeth. And Rashi says, even though it's good for your teeth, kashal of neimayim, it's very bad for your stomach. And kershinin and certain types of beans, I think, of neimayim, which is very good for your stomach, but it's very bad for your teeth. And Rashi says, "Sol kadai k'chamina." You might think, "Kivan shekashim la'adam lavur chayu lemechlinu," since even though they're foods, but they do cause harm in some way, it wouldn't be considered a derech achila ilav l'refuah sheish ben, unless you really had a problem with your teeth that you were willing to tolerate the side effect of the stomach problem, or you have such problems with your stomach that you're willing to tolerate the side effect of your teeth. It's clearly something you wouldn't stop eat. You're only eating it because you're forced to, because you have the other ailment. And therefore, it's clear, it would be clear that this is not eating its refuah. The netzer, that might be a reason to answer. Kamashlan, even there, you're allowed to eat. What about kolamashkin? The Mishnah also says kolamashkin, that's normal to drink. You're allowed to use for refuah on Shabbos. Lesuye meitzlofen b'chaymitz. It's called a caper, which I don't know what these things are, but you're even allowed to drink that with vinegar, which again was something that people wouldn't drink. Are you allowed to have? Are you allowed to drink meiraglayim on Shabbos? Amalei, he told him, Tanina to Mefersha Mishnah, Kol Mashkin Shoisa. I'm sorry, to Mefersha Brisa. Kol Mashkin Shoisa, Umeiraglayim l'shosinchi. It's only mashkin that people drink. Most people don't drink meiraglayim, so that's clearly considered refuah. If you remember yesterday, we learned that meiraglayim in different doses is effective as a cure for different type of ailments. Chutz memei dekolim. The Mishnah said that memei dekolim you're not supposed to drink. In fact, the Gemara, Tana chutz memei dekolim. There are those who are garish not to kolim with a lamed, but the kara meaning water that'll poke you. They're both referring to the same thing. It was just a question of how we refer to this mashke. Man the tanamei the karim is she'im doikrim es amor. They poke your gallbladder, I think the more is a gallbladder. In other words, it's bad for it. Man the medikalim, it's because she yotzin min shnei dikli. This was a special water that came out of a spring it's a very specific spring. It's a spring that came out between two the column. Now this was probably the most famous spring until Saratoga Vichivader. After they opened up Saratoga Vichivader that we used to eat here in Pesach, that became the most famous spring. But there used to be a very famous spring that was in between two palm trees. My made the column, where was this? Omarabba Barbruna, Tarti Tloi Ikaba Marava. There are two trees in Marava, and in between these two trees, there happened to have been a famous well, famous spring. Now, this spring had special qualities. The water had special qualities. Kasa Kama, the first kois that you drank from this water, Marpli, it was like a laxative. Marpizevel Shivamayimixos, very similar to Saratoga Vichivader. After you ate the matzah and you were completely stopped up, the Saratoga Vichivader used to solve the problem with the Kedem raspberry syrup, if we remember. And then Idich, the second glass of this spring water, Mishalshal. that was more like a nuclear laxative. It didn't just loosen it up, but it went nuclear. And the third one was like the type of laxative you take when you're preparing for a colonoscopy. The same color that the water flows into your body, it comes out the same water. In other words, you're literally running, and it acts like a flush of your system. Amar Ula said, I actually drank beer from Bovel, and it was even more potent than this water from that ma'ayin, but it only helps who the loyragel are born yomi. That's only the loyragel mishti shikha kvar avru mem yoim. You haven't drank beer in 40 days, so your system's not ready for it. Then it'll shock your system and act as a laxative. But if you're a hardened beer drinker, then it wouldn't help. If Yosef Amar Zaysim Hamitzri, there was Zaysim Hamitzri, which was again some type of plant. Rashi says, who made the korban? That's what it was. Hashem Shedoikim Mesacholi, they're called made the korban because it pokes the sickness. So now we're going to get into some recipes. Oh, so it was tilsa sari. It was a third made out of barley. The tilsa kortami, and a third made out of karchim, some other spice. The tilsa milcha, and a third salt. So Reb Yosys, let's just focus. Reb Yosys, who has a samach in his name, made the beer out of sa'ari, out of barley that also has a sin, which sounds just like a samach in his name. And we'll soon see that is significant. At Pop-Bomber, the recipe was a little different. Tilsa chiti, it didn't have barley, rather it had a third wheat. The tilsa kortami, the tilsa milcha. The semanich, how do you know who said it was sari? That Rabbi Yosef said it was sari. Sisani, there's a double samach in that word. Now sisani happens to be a type of keli. Klisha noistin b'tamarim. It was a keli in which they used to contain dates, but it had the double samach in it, and that will help us remember that Rabbi Yosef said sari. The shasalahu. When do people normally drink this type of mashke? Between Pesach and Shavuos, the Komet Marpele. If you have constipation, what this drink will do for you is it'll loosen your bowels. Udiravi, and if you have diarrhea already, Kometlei, it'll tighten up your stool. So basically, what it does is it creates a good balance of digestive chemicals in your system, so that it regulates that things should work properly. The Kais Ikrin, one of the things that the Mishnah says that you're not allowed to eat on Shabbos is a Kais Ikrin. My Kais Ikrin, and this was a Kais that normally, this recipe, Rashi on the Mishnah says, it was a recipe that had the roots of certain asavim in it, and as a bad side effect of the refuah that it'll do, it also made people impotent. Lysi Miskal Zuza Kuma Alexandria. Take Kuma Alexandria, which was some type of plant. How much of it should you take? The amount that would weigh a zuz. The Miskal Zuze Govigila. And the weight of a zuz of Govigila, which is alum, Rashi says. And the Miskal Zuza Kurchama Rishka. And a zuz weight of Karchim Shalgan Krug. Again, Agudah Broadcasting. I don't know exactly what the things are. Grind them together. Now, lizova, that's what you would give a zova. So if a woman couldn't clear up, they would feed this to a zova, and that would help.
Yossi, the lizova, I think, is the next.
It was the next tickle. So who is it for? So I'm not sure what the first thing would help. It could be the Gemara is now going to give a whole bunch of different formulations depending on what your problem is. So the Zava tells them
it's according to our scroll, it's describing Kais Ukri.
So for a Zava, you would have a third of it. Would be you'd mix with wine, below makra, and this would not cause her. That's your actual Zava tells them So it's listing off the different. I'm sorry, that's it's going on before. It's going on before. Right. So it's just for a zava. What you should do is you should mix it with a third of wine. This way, it'll stop her from flowing too much, but also the wine will prevent it from causing her to become impotent. If you have a disease called yarkoina, which needs also a remedy, so what you should do is train b'shichra. It's 2 doses with treminayu lishti b'shichra. You should drink 2 of these together with beer. I guess you should have 2 doses of this, but this level of potency of drug that you need for your rokin will cause someone to become impotent. The zava, now we're going back, Rashi says, we're going back to review what the remedy was for zava. Now what happens if the liluy? What if it doesn't work? Rashi says, so what if it didn't work? Then Laisi Tilsa Kapizi. You should take 3 kapizim. And Rashi says kapizi was some type of shiur that held gibel lugum. And you should take 3 kapizi of shamchi, which are onions, parsoi, Persian onions. Rashi says Persian onions were large onions. The nishlet b'chamer, cook these onions in wine, and let her drink them. The name of law, and you should tell her when she drinks it, come out of your ziva, chidli mizoivech. Liluy, Akiva, you weren't here yesterday, but this is mamish the Gemara of di Hust nuch chickens, icha nuch skillis. If this doesn't work, lusva a precious drachim, let her sit at the place where the road splits, the linkita casa de chama biyada, and let her have a glass of wine, a of wine in her hands, the lazy inish and have someone come up from behind her when she's not expecting it, and they should say, boo! And that's supposed to shock her, and not only will it stop her hiccups, it'll also stop her ziva. The lemela, and you should tell her komizavach. And if this doesn't work, she should take a fistful of kamuna, ubuna de marika, and a fistful of karchoy, ubuna de shavli lasa, and a buna of tilson, fengrin. I'm not sure what all the seeds are. And nishlet b'chamer, and she should cook them in the wine. The nishkaya, and she should drink them. The name of law, and you should tell her when she's drinking it, kumi zoivich, again, come out of your ziva. Liluy, and if this doesn't work, the ichanoch chickens, ichanoch skillas, let's say shishin, she the dana. She should take 60 wax seals that are normally used to seal up barrels. The lashafia, she should dissolve them in water to soften them up, and I guess you should smear it on them. Smear it on her. The lame law, and you should tell her kumi zoivich. The liluy ichanoch skillas. Then laisi pashtina, let her take a pashtina. Rashi says it's an esav she'ein gadol b'kuma. It's a grass. It doesn't grow tall. It just crawls across the ground. A low growing grass. The lishlek b'chama, she should cook that grass in wine. The l'shaveh, she should smear it. The name on it, you should tell her kumi zoivich. If this doesn't work, ichanach skillas. Lesi chaguna the hiksa rumisa. He should take. It's a type of grass, Rashi says, that grows by the higim. I don't know what these things are. Hiksa rumus is a mina hegash, the Quran rumus, some type of plant. The litlay, he should roast it. The lisbe besachta the kista bekaita. If it's in the summer, you should put it in shmatis made out of pishtan. Uveshichi the omer gufna besifsa. And if it's in the fall or winter, she should wrap these things in a wool type of shmata. And that'll help her. The liluy, and if she still has ziva, ichanoch skillas, lichri sheva biri, you should dig 7 holes. The little behusha bishta, yolda darla, you should burn in these holes some type of zmur shalkemen shalkerbilada, young orla vines. The lindke de casa de chama biyada. And she should take a glass of wine in her hand. and she should sit over these holes that have the burning vines in them. Look from and she should walk over each of these holes that have burning vines in them. She should stay there a little bit, then go to the next, then go to the next. And while she's on top of each guma, where there's like an incense of burning vine in each one coming up, you should tell her, Kumi Zayvech. And if this doesn't help, let her take Kemach Soilis, Rashi says, the Lischa, and she should smear it on her lower half. The Leimalon, you should tell her, Kumi Zayvech. Dios noch chickens, Viloy, Ichanach Skillis. Lesser be also the Namisa. She should take the egg of the Basayana, which I believe is an ostrich egg, the liluy, and she should roast it. The lisve b'shachner the kisna b'kaita, and put this roasted egg into rags made out of pishton if it's the summer, or b'shichidam gofna or if it's in the fall, she should put it in the shmata made out of wool. The iloy, and if it doesn't help, ichanach skillis. Live the chlachavisa the chamer l'shma. You should open up a barrel of wine just for her. And Rashi says that means yarn harbi tish tamid. She should drink a lot of wine, and that helps her ziva stop. Viloy, and if it doesn't work, linkit sayrosa the mishtaka b'chavusa the kudna chiyura. You should take.
Yossi, I guess they wanted to save money because they waited for the wine, which is probably the easiest thing to do. I think they gave 7 remedies before opening a barrel of wine.
It's a shoot to waste a good bottle of Oban on her. What?
Exactly.
But listen to this one. If the wine doesn't work, then you're literally scraping the bottom of the barrel. You should take some barley kernels that you find in the excrement of a white donkey. So you go through, you got to sift through the excrement of a white donkey, and then tell her you have to take those barleys out. You give it to her in her hand, and you tell her to hold it. If she holds on to this barley in her hand for one day, she'll be clean for 2 days. And if she holds the barley for 2 days, then then it'll stop for 3 days. But if she's able to hold this smelly barley in her hand for 3 days, it's going to stop her from ziva forever. Okay, don't try this at home. Liyarkoina, the disease of yarkoina, it says as follows: train b'shichra, 2 servings, which we're going back to at the bottom of Omen Aleph. It said laziva, what you do, and it says liyarkoina. So liyarkoina says you take 2 of these servings, b'shichra with beer, umiakar, and it will cause this person to become childless. V'iloi, ichanach skillis, if this doesn't work. And Rashi says not necessarily that it doesn't work. Either it could be he doesn't have access to that product, or it could mean he had it and it didn't work. So what should he do? Then Laisirasha the shibuta de milcha. He should take the head of a fish that's called shibuta, and it should be salted. So some herring, some geshmak schmaltz herring. He should take the head of the herring. V'lishlek b'sichra, and he should cook it in beer. V'lishti, and he should drink it. And if that doesn't work, viloy laisim de kamtzi, he should take the juice of chagovim, of grasshoppers. Vilekem menuni de kamtzi, and if he can't get a hold of that type of juice, lesim menuni de nikuri. Chagovim juice it's called monster juice. They make that nowadays. So you get a good can of monster juice, either from chagovim or from small birds. And you should take a can of monster juice into the base of merchetz, v'leshafye, and you should smear it on him. He should go into the mikveh and he should smear himself with monster juice. If they throw him out of the mikveh, or if the mikvehs are closed, lukmi ben tanur laguda. He should stand between the oven and the wall. The main purpose is that we want him to sweat. That's why we want him to go to the mikveh. But if he can't get into the mikveh, he should go into a warm place in this house, which would be between the oven and the wall. It was very hot. If you have someone who you need to warm up because he's not well. Either this guy who has Yerokin or any person who is sick, you should wrap him in the beged of this guy because clearly he has a lot of heat. He has fever, and that he'll have to heat up the beged, and he could act as a blanket warmer. So this means either the person, if we're talking about the Baal Yerokin, wrap him in his own beged, in his own cover, so he'll get warm. Rashi also says, or you can actually take another guy who's Yerokin, who will cause the blanket to get heated up, and then you could take the heated blanket and give it to this guy. Rabbi Yosef Choshbei. Rabbi Yaakov once had an ailment, and he wanted to heal himself. So Ovalei Reb Kahana did this eitzah with wrapping him in this warm blanket to heat him up, to get him to sweat out his machla, and he was saved, he became healed. The liluy, ich hab noch skills. If that doesn't work for him, lays it tlalsa kapizi, Tommy Parsiaisa. You should take 3 kapizim. We said earlier, all the way to the top, a kapizi is a kli, mach is a gimelugin. So you should take 3 of these kapizis of Persian dates, the tlalsa kapizi, and 3 kapizis of the kira, dinistrufi. I forgot what the kira dinistrufi is. Let's see what Rashi says. It is shaiva, is the wax, hatzofa, that's flowing from the tefes mechaveres, from a bee. Oh, so we're talking about the wax, beeswax, loose beeswax that's dripping out of a honeycomb. You should cook this in beer. You should drink it. And if this doesn't work, Lacy Ila Bar Chamra, he should take an Ila Bar Chamra. Rashi says, I'm not sure what this is, but what he should do is with Liglach Miyat Sheshre, he has to do himself the opposite of a mohawk. Instead of making a mohawk, he should shave a strip down the middle of his head. What does the article say? What's that Ila Bas Chamra? Forgot what that means. Where does it say over here?
Foal of a donkey.
Yeah, he should take a foal, yeah, okay, which is a young child of donkey, and he should shave off. He should give it a mohawk, the opposite of a mohawk haircut. So now there's a bald strip down the center. The lishvik bedama mefusei. He should take blood. He should let blood out of the head of this donkey. For lusferation, and he should put the blood of the donkey on his head. But he should make sure the blood of the donkey does not get into his eyes, so it shouldn't blind him. And if he can't get this donkey head, then what he should do is leise reisha the barcha. He should take the head of a isle of a ram, the manach bekivsha, that was being pickled. So he should take a pickled head of a ram. The lishlik b'shichra, he should cook it in beer. The lishlik, he should drink it. He should bring dover acher chutrana. He should bring a pig, a chazir, that has boils on it, so a really appetizing diseased pig. Vilakare, he should rip it open. And he should put this ripped open pig on his heart. And if that doesn't work, the mishri, he should bring karsi is a leek, I believe, and it should be emsarugo shem charifin. You should get a leek that grows in the middle of a row because they're very sharp. And ahutaya, there was once this Arabian merchant, the Choshbei, he had this problem with Yerokin, and he went. He said, he went to a gardener, he went to a farmer, and he said, I need to buy from you this leek from the middle of your road, and I don't have cash, but I'm willing to pay you by giving you my beautiful coat. Shkol glimoy, take my beautiful coat, bahavli, and please give me measure the karsi. Give me a leek that grew in the middle of the road. That's the medicine that I need. Yoivle, he gave it to him. Va'achla, and the Taya ate it. Homelay, after that, he said, Oshel Galimach, can I borrow your jacket? I'm sure it fits me perfectly, because he just gave it to him. The Ignibe, and he should sleep in it. He should take a little nap in this beged. So what happened was Koli, Vignabi, Koli Mat. I'm going to take a small nap in your beged that you just got for me. So Ichrich, Gana. So he actually put this, the farmer lent him back his jacket. He put it on. Gondabe, he slept in it a little bit. Kad Ichmim, when he heated up from, I guess, what he ate and what he's wearing his beged to come, and he woke up. Novel porta minei. Rashi says, Kodcha hatalas. There was so much heat escaping the body of this merchant, meaning the refuah was working, and he was sweating it out. So it seems like it damaged the beged, and it made it fall into small pieces from the heat that was escaping from his body. For Yarakon, again, we're analyzing what you're supposed to do. Train b'shechum. Now, this is something clearly that's not a sekonos nefashos, because we're talking about what refuahs are mutter on Shabbos, what not. If it was a sekonos nefashos, everything's mutter on Shabbos. This is not a sekonos nefashos, yet we're still allowing him to drink something that's going to cause him to become childless. Umishari, is one allowed to be mesaris himself? But Tanya, we learned minayin l'siris ba'adam shu aser. How do we know that siris is aser even on the human, not just on the behemoth? Because the pasuk does say, "Umoch v'chos v'nosek v'choros l'loy sakrivu l'Hashem u'va'atzchem loysasus." How do you know that it's not only aser for a behemoth? How do you know it's also aser for a person? And we learn from the extra chem, because really siris has nothing to do with Eretz Yisrael. It's an isser on an animal. So the chem we darshan to say the sasu b'chem, you're not even allowed to do it to yourself. B'chem lo also shouldn't be done in you. Divrei Rab Chanina. So oibezoi, how could we allow him to drink this koi sikrin? He's not allowed to be misarish himself. So if his intent is to be misarish himself, only then is it usher. But here it's not. He's drinking it for a different reason, and it's only a side effect of what he's drinking it for. Said, if somebody wanted to be Messiah Tarnaval, Avadi, you're not allowed to be Messiah animal, but if you wanted to, you could do it in the indirect way. Yidol Karbalosoi, take the crown of the rooster off, Umistarish Me'elov, and the rooster will become a sarish by itself. In fact, the more Rashi Ramas Rucha Hudinakitale, it doesn't really medically make the rooster a saris, rather it takes away the pride of the rooster, and it will no longer have an interest in being mezagim. So that's not isser. So you can't say that, you can't bring a right from here that it's mutter. So Oibezoi, we have a shverkat. How could he drink something that's going to misarish him? So it's speaking by somebody who's already a shris. Someone who's healthy, Taka wouldn't be able to take this medicine. But the Mishnah that's talking about someone administering this medicine is speaking about somebody anyway who can't have children. Everybody agrees. If someone's working on a mincha, you're not allowed to let it become chametz, because of course the mincha was always made out of non-chametz, and everyone's moedim b'mechametz achamam shu chayiv. If somebody was already mechametz, if the mincha is already chametz, and a person works with it, and does another avodah with its chametz, he's chayiv, even though it's already chametz already. So you see, making something chametz that's chametz already will also be aser. So too, even though this fellow is a shris, he shouldn't be allowed to drink this medicine that'll be misarishim. And we learn that even if it mechametz achem mechametz, even though it's chametz already, so you can't cause any more damage. But if you do something to be mechametz it again, you're also going to be chayiv. So so everybody holds misarish misarish shu chayiv. Shenemar umoch v'kosus v'nosuk v'choris imal koris chayiv. If you're chayiv for crushing the beitzim, which makes the animal into a saris, al motuk l'kolchkin, if it's completely cut off, that would also that for sure you should also be chayiv. So why does it list off both in the pasuk? If you're mesaris an animal, even though it's already mesuris, there's a chiyuv for that as well. So over here too, how could you let even a sris drink this mashke? Well, it must be speaking about an old person who can no longer have children anyway. In fact, the Rabbi Yochanan, hey, on the right side, there's medicines. There are medicines that can actually restore youth. They're the fountain of youth that would make a person be able to have children again. So just because he's a zakah, he shouldn't be allowed to be Messiah himself. Elabisha is speaking about a woman who doesn't have a mitzvah of puravu. A lady also has a mitzvah of puravu. How could she be Messiah? Herself, Michael, remember? So we're going to be speaking about an old lady, Inami Be'akara, an old lady or a lady who's in a car who cannot have children anyway. She'll be able to use this mashke to heal herself from Europe. Do they use these remedies today? Does anybody use these remedies today?
I should hope not.
Oh, I hope Chaim C's not here. Because if Chaim C was here, he'd give you petch. Because he taught us about the Vilna Gaon and the Rambam. The Rambam says these things don't work. And the Vilna Gaon was screaming at the Rambam for saying that.
That's more of whether they in theory don't work or not, but everyone holds that you should not try them in practice. The famous Maril.
What's the famous Maril?
The Maril says that you're not allowed to try any refuah from the Gemara.
Because you'll do it wrong, and then it'll lead to Chil Hashem, because you'll say it doesn't work, and really you did it wrong.
And there might be other factors why they shouldn't work anymore, etc.
Okay, shkoyach, so I won't do those at all.
The bottom line is that the Gemara is telling you that all these things that seem insignificant or have no purpose or you didn't understand the value actually have great value.
Yeah.
In other words, you wanted to take off the thing of the chicken, right? You said, what does he need it for? He's strutting around like a peacock in his own hand. Take it out. But it has obviously significance. It's similar to what Dovid said about the spider.
And how many women who have a snake going inside them have access to a 12-ounce steak?